Altcoin bag holders, my name is Rafael Yeager. I'm addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fraud imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust. They won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan in joining me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits.
Welcome to the Altcoin Season Tour, the #1 altcoin-focused live stream where you can come, have fun with me, we can vibe, and learn some cool stuff together about cryptocurrencies and altcoins. I'm your host, Raphael, the creator of Flipping Finance, the #1 Gen Z financial entertainment media outlet, and a core Litecoin believer and supporter. On the Altcoin Season Tour, we dive into some of the largest cryptocurrencies in the top 200. We explore their communities. We try to learn about these things in a way that is fun and engaging, because honestly, I'm as noob as they come when it comes to crypto, and I'm going on a cryptocurrency journey. I'm going on an altcoin journey where I'm trying to learn about all of this projects. And, it's going to be fun if, you come join and enjoy the whole thing together. Really cool. So we host the Altcoin Season Tour every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. 11 p.m., 10 p.m. So, oh boy, 10 a.m. EST, sometimes 11 or 11:30 in case of today EST. And yeah, you just go follow us on all our social media handles. I'm just going to show our social media handles here real quick so you can go follow. And so you do not miss out on an episode of the Altcoin Season Tour, right? Especially an episode where we end up talking about your favorite altcoin. So I'm going to show you guys the um So, yep, this is the page. This is our page on X. We are also on YouTube, on Instagram, and most of the other social media pages, so you can go follow us on those pages so you can join the Altcoin Season Tour every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. EST. So, we can come, hang out, and have fun, and we can explore some of these wonderful projects with these wonderful communities. So today, our topic of today is Zcash, right? We want to explore Zcash because what the frick has been happening with Zcash? It has been going up and to the right. And honestly, I'm very incredulous with regards to what Zcash is about. And this is my own attempt at trying to do some sort of research, right, about Zcash. I want to know what Zcash really is about. And so today's episode, you can see right there on the screen, this is the guide to how we're going to be going about today's episode. We're going to have the intro, which I'm doing right now. And so we're going to do a little section I call Alt Season Where You At, where we go ahead and then we look at some of the altcoin season memes, alt season memes. We also check some of the top altcoins. We see the price, their chart. Let's see how everything is going. And we like ramble and cry about our frustrations when our bags are not moving, or we celebrate when our bags are pumping. And then we're gonna go to the main thing about this live stream, which is Zcash. I wasn't familiar with your game, where we try to understand why the flip Zcash has been going up. Because honestly, I do not freaking get it. And so we're gonna look at some Zcash adoption, right? Because I want to know what is fueling. Because I mean, I want to know if this is just some sort of random pump, or this is actually like some, you know, seismic shift with regards to like crypto adoption, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of people that are saying, you know, Monero is going down, and now like it's Zcash just taking all of the, you know, adoption that was, you know, originally going for to Monero. And so I want to see if that's the case, right? So that's what those are the things we're going to be doing today on stream. So if you're joining the stream, I want to say welcome, 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 welcome to every single person that is joining the stream. You are all invited. You're all welcome. You're all welcome. If you're joining the stream, you can drop a chat, drop a comment when you join, so that I could shout you out. You know, shout out to every single person that is joining. If you're joining, welcome. So I'm just gonna reshare the order of events again so everyone can see it, right? So that's it right there on the screen. You can see it. Just have to. Wow, what the flip type of layout is that? Why does it look like that? All right, cool. I think this is better. Yeah, so that's it. That is the order of events for today. That's what we're going to be doing. Those are the things we're going to be exploring today. And that's how the show is going to go. So if you're joining the stream, welcome, 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 welcome. So before I begin the stream, I just want to give you know, a huge shout out to 84 million, right? So if you see what I'm wearing, if you like this t-shirt, right? This cool Litecoin, this is a Litecoin merch, right? This cool Litecoin merch, you can see it here. This is Litecoin, this is Bitcoin. You know, the Nakamoto standard, right? It's both of them, because like, you know, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Twin Chain. If you really like this, if you want to get cool Litecoin related merch like this, then I'm going to show you all where to get it, right? I'm going to show you all where to get it. You're going to get it at oh my god, my screen just sunk. What the flip? I'm going to show you all where to get it real quick. Boom. That's where you get it. If you want to get this cool Litecoin merch that I'm wearing, then you should go to 84million.com/shop. You can go there. You can check for cool Litecoin merch, right? You can see some nice Litecoin hats here. If you want to get some, you know, Litecoin hat, right? I mean, probably into the cryptoverse, Benjamin Cohen will probably be very interested in that. And if you want to get other cool Litecoin merch, you know, you can see some really nice Litecoin tees here. You can go get at 84 million, and this is some cool Litecoin hat, and then some, you know, really nice stickers, and, you know, general Litecoin merch, you know, nice tees, nice you know, sweatshirts like this one, and even cool hoodies, right? You can get them at 84million.com/shop. I just want to say, this is not sponsored, right? This is not a paid advertisement, right? I was given some of this merch by 84 million, and they're really nice. And I feel like, you know, everybody who's a Litecoin liker or a Litecoin lover, or an altcoiner in general, that you know, you have a soft spot for Litecoin, or you don't even have a soft spots for Litecoin. Even if you hate Litecoin, you want to shit on Litecoin, you can just buy merch, right? And wear it for the fun of it if you're into that type of thing. So yeah, if you want to get cool Litecoin merch, you know where to find it. That is 84million.com/shop. So you go there to get your cool Litecoin merch. So now we're gonna go into today's episode, guys. What is happening? Honestly, I am as confused as Flip with regards to what's happening with Zcash. Because I've always known that Zcash is this privacy coin, right, that allows for anonymous transaction. I know that from what I heard, at least, their privacy is better than Monero, but that's about what I know about Zcash. You know, and I mean, if you'd ask anybody in this entire space, you know, pick an altcoin you feel like it's gonna freaking rip over, you know, like a few months ago, then you would not see anybody that picked Zcash. I mean, but now look what's happening. Look what's happening. Zcash has been going on an absolute tear, and I'm just left with so much blue balls, bro. Why didn't I buy Zcash? What is happening here? Look at that. That nice little move from the 25th of September this 25th of September bottom. We can sort of let me do a measured move here real quick so I can see what that is. Gotta escape. Oh boy, can do a little measured move here. That's a lot. That's like a very large percentage. Oh boy, it's the freaking ruler. I don't even know where the ruler is. What the fuck? Huh? Huh? Oh boy. Oh boy. Brain so fried. Anyways, look at that. That is an insane 200%, right? That is an insane 3x plus in about a week, right? In about in just about a week, Zcash is absolutely exploding, while your altcoin bag is freaking bleeding. What is going on, guys? What is going on? If anybody knows what's going on, honestly, I appreciate it because I don't get it. Why is Zcash pumping and my altcoin, my favorite altcoin, is not moving? Right? I mean, let's look at some of the major altcoins. Yeah. I'm just gonna pull up Litecoin real quick. And I mean, Litecoin's solid, right? I mean, we still look absolutely like fucking solid on the long-term chart. But what's going on? What's going on on the short? I want to see what's going on. I'm gonna zoom that in a little bit. See what's going on the much shorter time frames. Yep. And you can see. I mean, we've actually been moving pretty decent, right? If you could see that move. I mean, we sort of came down a bit on Litecoin, and look where we are, right? From the bottom as of 25th of September all the way to here. I mean, we're up decent, right? And it's good, right? Because what I like about the way we've moved so far with Litecoin is that I mean, Litecoin still remains very much on track, right? If you look at everything, you just zoom it out, and you see we still look perfect. I mean, if this Litecoin chart is not the most bullish thing in all of crypto, honestly, I don't know what else is. We still look absolutely freaking good on Litecoin. But I mean, Zcash is breaking out on let me see if we're breaking out on major time frames here. We just gotta zoom this out a little. Oh boy. Gotta zoom this out a little. Hey, get out of here, bro. I want to know what pattern is forming on this chat, right? Because I looked at Zcash when we made a little pump from $25. When we made a little pump for like 20 something or 30 something bucks, like $50. I'm like, oh, Zcash pumping. It's probably gonna go down, right? Probably gonna go down. I mean, it's not like I'm not anti-bullish on Zcash, right? I'm not trying to say Zcash should go down, but I was expecting that, right? And so seeing how we continue the rally all the way to where we are right now, that's absolutely nothing I was expecting. And you can see, I mean, we had a really nice pump, honestly, all the way to here. This sort of resistance, I guess, this little resistance pocket. You can just see that. And so we can just see this little resistance range, sort of like, in between this area. You can see, I mean, this resistance was sort of like very, very important back here, 2017 to 2018-ish. And you can see like in 2021, 2022, it acted more like just like a pocket, right? Like a pocket of resistance rather than an actual, yeah, it's just been acting like a pocket of resistance generally, and you can see that brutal rejection here again in 2021, and yeah, and we sort of like touched the bottom of this resistance pocket in 2022, and then we came back down before we went to this absolute capitulation. And Zcash is looking pretty good right now. I mean, we look like we're about to retest this pocket. Who knows what happens, after we retest this pocket? We're just gonna do some dubious speculation, okay? I gotta delete that. That's freaking gross. Yeah, I mean, probably we just go up like this and find a retest inside this pocket. It's probably gonna consolidate. What's going on with my drones? It's probably gonna consolidate in this pocket a little bit. That's what I just think. I feel like it's gonna chop here a lot, before it moves. But like, I mean, if Zcash sort of like chops here and then moves, it's gonna be great. But then if Zcash just like pops off, yo, that's gonna be like insane, right? Because if you look at that, I mean, this is not a small pocket, right? If we look at just looking to the top of where this pocket has sort of been. Oh my God, no, that's not what I'm trying to do here. To the top of where this pocket has started, sort of is from where we are now. That's a solid 2.5x, right? It's like a 3x from here just to get to that channel well. And so if we're seeing a breakout that's just gonna go absolutely bananas. Like if this monthly candle just goes berserk, right? And we see an absolute freaking pump breakout, then that's gonna take us to I mean, I mean, looking at it just freaking hurts, bro. It's gonna just explode this Zcash to like 1,000 something plus. And I mean, I don't know how that's. I'm just dubiously speculating here. I don't know, how likely that is to happen. I mean that's probably gonna be testing here. I don't know how far back this chart goes. Honestly, I don't know how far back this chart goes, but like it's very interesting to see Zcash sort of being on that path. I mean, these are absolute monster candles. Compared to what you're saying. I mean, how many percentage point have we gotten here on the last month's candles? It's like 83%. And when last did we see like an 83% or for Zcash in a month? This is one of the biggest. This is 44%. And this 141%. So since January of 2020, this is the largest daily percentage, monthly percentage point increase, on the candlestick for Zcash. I'm gonna say this is pretty convincing, right? With the amount of volume that's coming in these candles, this is some very freaking bold candles, man. This shit probably just keeps going, right? That's what I think. I think it just continues to rip because like these are ungodly candles right here. It's not godly. These are ungodly candles. These are statement candles that's happening here. And yo, that's pretty good, man. I mean, if you're a Zcash supporter, you're probably on your way to on your way to trying to retire. Yeah, but that looks good. If that plays out and it Zcash sort of like reclaims this channel and like continues, it's gonna be so freaking good. So let's look at some other altcoins. I want to see some other altcoins, like some of the other top altcoins, like ETH. What is ETH doing? Because I'm not bullish on ETH at all this cycle. I don't think it goes anywhere because like this is a generational top ETH is like tapping at. I don't see how we go past this like a lot, honestly. That's just like, I mean, and this is like the first real test of this top since November 2021. And that says a lot, right? That says an absolute lot. I mean, someone would say this might have been like a sort of test. You could sort of like do like a resistance pocket or something. But I mean, the actual resistance itself, this is the first time we're actually testing it. I mean, I would assume it just goes up a little. I mean, please, I'm not a certified market technician. Okay, I'm just a dude with a chart on the internet. This is not financial advice. I'm just talking out of my bottom hole. Just so you know, right? Yeah, but I don't expect ETH to go very much higher. Honestly, I feel like this alt season belongs to something else. I mean, you can sort of like compare this ETH chart to something like Litecoin, right? Where we've been forming this very nice consolidation range with just consistently higher lows over the past 8 years. I mean, this is Litecoin. And if you would assume that if Litecoin is getting to this resistance zone that we've experienced before, which we've had multiple touches of, I mean, one could even draw the line like this and like say, okay, maybe one could draw the line like this and say, probably it's like that. But even at that, right, we still had more convincing tests of that resistance. So if we're going at it the third time, we're probably going to rip, right? And that's probably going to send Litecoin, much higher. Honestly, that's just how I perceive it. Yeah, much higher. I feel like Litecoin is just looks so beautiful. Honestly, just looks so freaking beautiful. And you look at ETH, right? And I mean, sort of like draw a little. You could draw a little. I don't know, for probably this, I guess, and sort of like extend it out a little, and you could see. I mean, I don't know what this movement is for Ethereum, honestly. Yeah, I guess this sort of counts for something. I'm just gonna try to increase this a little bit. Let's give it, make it big. I mean, yeah, there's like a, one could argue that this is a like a triangle or something. It's probably gonna like break out, but I'm not very convinced. I mean, this is our first real test of this, resistance zone in since 2021. I mean, I'm not very bullish on that, honestly. I just believe it goes probably a little bit, maybe not so much, and then probably like 5, 6, 7,000 at max, and then we just ultimately crash and fall back into this this channel is what I believe. But Litecoin, on the other hand, if we're gonna go for this, we're probably gonna reap, and we're just gonna keep going. So I'm very bullish on Litecoin. I'm incredibly bullish on Litecoin, not very much ETH, because this just looks so good, honestly. It does. And I mean, I'm always prepared for a worst case scenario for Litecoin where, this sort of like plays out as an actual extended triangle, right? And I mean, and this goes all the way to here. I mean, if we see more chop and more consolidation inside of this for Litecoin, and we're just seeing the breakout in July 2020, 2029. Yo, that's just more time for me to stack up cheap Litecoin, right? Because the idea of Litecoin for me is just a way to preserve the worth of my value. Honestly, it doesn't matter if we pump very high soon, or maybe delays. Who knows? I don't care, right? For Litecoin, I mean, whenever it happens, it's cool. I mean, it's cool, but I don't really care for it happening anytime soon. Honestly, it can delay. I really don't mind, right? I mean, I'm open to the possibility where we like see like like a pump towards like, I don't know, if we see a pump towards like 3,000 to 4,000 or something, this area, we're probably gonna just come back and retest this. But if we're gonna stay here, then maybe we see a little pump to like this 1,000 something level and probably come back down. I mean, I don't know exactly how this is gonna play out. I don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, considering this is Litecoin's third time of testing this generational resistance, I'm just generally more bullish on it long term than I am, something like Ethereum, right? That is just testing this, for the second time. It's not very confidence inspiring to me. So let's look at some other major alts and see if we can spot some like long term patterns. I mean, I'm not a Soul has been crushing it, man. I feel like Soul, it's time for Soul to take a little chill. It's time for Soul to take a little chill. And Soul is pretty interesting, right? Because Soul is very inflationary with regards to the fact that like it doesn't have a max supply, and the issuance rate is not predictable like things like Bitcoin and Litecoin. So sometimes you look at this chart, right? You look at what Soul is doing on the price, and technically Soul hasn't broken out from these multi-year last bull market's high in any significant way, right? If you just expand it on the log scale, doesn't look like it's done much. Oh my god, get that out of my screen. Doesn't look like it's done much, right? But then if you open the Soul market cap, which I'm going to do in a bit, you're going to see that it's actually like, Soul has actually gone up a lot from like its previous ETH with regards to like its market cap. And so we're just going to do that in a bit. So, I mean, this is Soul's third attempt at going for this all-time high. I believe it breaks, because like we did that in 2021 and we sort of like, tested it again. It's like, it's almost like a pocket as well. It's like a resistance pocket rather than just one oh my god, rather than just one yeah, it's like a little resistance pocket going on here with Soul. And you can sort of see that we're just in that, and we're going for it. So I mean, I'd assume that Soul breaks. I mean, it breaks, probably like goes all the way. Dubious speculation, probably gets to 1,000. I mean, who knows, right? And I mean, I don't know what the implication of Soul going to 1,000 while Ethereum stays like maybe sub 10,000. I don't know how that's gonna play. Probably, I don't know if that means Sol overtakes Ethereum. I doubt it does, right? Because like that's a 4x, and that's gonna put Sol at about maybe $500 billion market cap when Ethereum's gonna be at like maybe $800 billion market cap. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's scary close. That's so getting scary close to Ethereum. I don't know if that happens, but interesting stuff when you open Sol's market cap and you see that it's yeah, the market cap has gone up. It's broken its 2021 all time high. Very, very, very confidently. Look at that. Look at that break. Honestly, not just the it didn't just break. It sort of like flipped it to support, right? If you look at that, it flipped that. Let me see if I could zoom into the weekly, so we could see how that we can sort of like see that even more clearly for Solana. Yo. Yeah, so I mean, you could sort of like see how it's been holding up to this resistance area, which it flipped to support. I mean, it flipped it to support, right? I mean, we're just gonna take where it had the most touches, and you can see it established itself. There's like a little head and shoulders pattern. You could just use the two shoulders to establish that resistance, and you can see, I mean, on the market cap chart, it flipped it to support, and it's already on its way up. And but you can see uh with the what's it called, with the with the price itself has not broken these all-time highs in any sustainable way. At least it's not broken and held. And that's part of the reasons why I'm not really a fan of holding my value in something like Solana or this proof of stake coins, because like it just scares me, right? Seeing all of this happen, right? The market cap's going up, and you know the price is not really following. And something similar to that, right? It's happened to like Litecoin as well. I mean, if we look at the market cap of Litecoin, we've sort of gone up a little bit uh more than the price, because like the supply has gone up. But that's the thing, right? We know that sort of like it just fades out over time, because it's maximum supply of 84 million. And the same with Bitcoin, 21 million. That's not the same for Solana. That's just infinite, just keeps going and going. And Litecoin, this actually looks pretty decent, right? It's not sustainably broken any trend, here for with its market cap. It's just sort of like being. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at how eerily similar this chart is, compared to like the USD chart, right? Look at how eerily similar that is. That is so like, yo. Look at how eerily similar Litecoin. The Litecoin. You can sort of see it stuck in this. I'm just gonna pull another one of these. This is the market cap. Chart, and you can. I'm just gonna expand this a little bit, so it just sort of like makes up for that. Yeah. And I mean, we've not considerably broken above the all-time high of this, but yeah, I mean, some inflation has definitely happened into this, but it's gonna end at some point, right? I mean, Litecoin, about almost 90% of all Litecoins, I don't know if I'm getting that right, but 89% of all Litecoins that would ever exist are in circulation. So like I can confidently say that this tailors off, right? And gets to a point where the price and market cap start moving, very, very in tandem, right? So you know that's something I can say with Litecoin. That's why I'm very confident with like allowing this Litecoin chart play out. I don't even care how long it takes, because like I can trust that. Well, Solana, well, if this has to just I mean, if this doesn't break out, right, and then if this fails and Solana sort of like gets back into, let me see if I can get like a macro trend out of this. I don't know if that's, no, that can't sort of. This is if I'm, hold on. So this is a, yeah. if Solana, if we can say this is like a triangle for Solana and then it breaks this and it comes back down, I mean, probably going to expect it to come back to this like magnet support right here. I don't know even know if it's this. I mean, this held a couple of times, but this is, sort of like the bedrock support is, here, right? This is the one where it did, you know, hold it acted as resistance, but like it can probably find support there, right? Because and that's like about $25. And so if this doesn't continue, if this doesn't just freaking rip, and Solana goes all the way here, considering the fact that like there's no max supply, it just continues on, that's actually going to be very terrible, right? Because then it's going to be even more tokens that are going to be in circulation when it's trying to recover from here. So, you compare that to the worst case scenario for Litecoin where we just get here and then we reject. And even if we break this, right? Incredible situation, we break this and we sort of like find ourselves in this like limbo. The Litecoins that are being issued in circulation is just reducing, right? Continues to taper off. So I'm more confident in trusting that type of move compared to like trusting Solana long term. So, I mean, it looks good. I'm not gonna lie. The chart looks good considering we've sort of like done this test. This is our third time of like testing this, right? We could just say this is a test. This is our fourth time, I guess. This is a test. It's another test. It's a third test, and this is the final test. This is sort of like an upward grind. I mean, I'd expect Solana to actually just rip. I expect Solana to just rip, honestly. But I'm not gonna put my eggs in this basket. It's not. I mean, the worst case scenario is it comes back here and then you just have a lot of coins get issued, and so it becomes much more difficult to get back up. You know, and so I'm not gonna store my value in that. But yeah, let's look at XRP. Let's look at one more altcoin before we one more major alt before we head into the topic of today. Before we try to learn about what's going on with Zcash, right? Because I really want to learn about Zcash today. Honestly, I want to know. I want to research Zcash. I don't know anything about Zcash. That's the point of today. And XRP, man, I don't know I don't know how to interpret this XRP's chart, right? I mean, I don't really understand what the drivers for XRP's adoption is, honestly, because like most of the people that I see that post about XRP, it's just about, XRP is going to be backed by gold and we're going to $10,000 and whatnot, and everything is just tied to like, oh, Ripple's going to replace Swift. Oh, all the semantics around what Ripple is doing. So like, I don't know. I don't see how. I don't have a concept in my mind where XRP and Ripple sort of like sustains itself, as an ecosystem, like completely detached from the team. But I mean, I mean, this looks like it's forming some sort of like channel here, I guess. I don't know if this can be a bull flag or what for XRP. I don't know if this is a bull flag. I doubt. No, a bull flag should like be trending down. What's this? Is this a bear flag? Got to expand that a little. Is that a bear flag for XRP? What the flip? Ugh. That if this is I don't know if this is a legitimate bear flag, right? But you can sort of like see that, extending, upward, ascending channel, right after this breakout. And so, I mean, generally, this is a bear flag. Generally, this breaks down. I'm not thinking it breaks down at the end of the day. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong, right? Because this is on the weekly, and we're gonna see what happens when we expand it to the daily for XRP. Oh boy. Yo, 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 yo. What is this for XRP? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look very. I mean, it looks like a bear flag to me. Honestly, it does. It does look like a bear flag to me. This is a very scary bear flag. Honestly, you could see like this little fake out of this channel, but it's sort of like being plain in this channel. And I don't know, man. I'm not gonna doom talk about like XRP here, but this just doesn't look good. We probably need to see like a dildo out of here for XRP. like a massive dildo out of here for XRP. So this whole thing just continues. So probably this is like a manipulation pattern, I guess. But this is textbook bear flag here. And you compare that to Litecoin that looks absolutely freaking gorgeous on the long term. I mean, generally bullish. I mean, Litecoin looks bullish, honestly. Solana looks bullish as well. I'm not very bullish on ETH. I'm very much in a Schrodinger's position with regards to XRP. I don't know what XRP is. I don't know. I just don't see how XRP continues this considering this bull a bear flag we're seeing. I don't see how it really continues this long term, right? This rally, how it sustains itself. Oh my god, look at that. But I mean, maybe it continues. Maybe it continues. Who knows, right? At the end of the day, who knows? Maybe it continues. Maybe it just gets into another like triangle. Because XRP really likes triangles on like this long term, time frames. It really likes triangles, and you could see, we sort of like it's the same thing that it did in 2017 that it just repeated again. And you could see that little consolidation, in this descending triangle, and then it sort of like popped out, and then it repeated something like that. This is descending triangle as well, but it's more, closer to an asymmetrical than that of descending. I mean, it's probably a combination of both, but yeah, it's another triangle pennant formation. Maybe it breaks and then it gets into another triangle pennant formation. Who knows, right? For XRP, but yeah, I mean, stick with your guns, right? So that's about it, right? For some of the biggest cryptocurrencies, I guess that's that's it, right? I mean, our altcoin season has still not come, right? And I'm thinking about how this altcoin season is gonna play. I don't even know. But seeing Zcash and what Zcash is doing, if Zcash keeps up with this movement, right? Where are you, my boy? Zcash, my boy. If Zcash continues this movement, then Zcash is probably like gearing up for like a generational run. If it goes on this run, then I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? These are some really, really big statement candles, for Zcash. Oh, yeah. So that's it. That's it for some dubious speculation on some altcoin chart. So we're gonna go on a little break, and then we're gonna come back. And when we come back, we're gonna move to the next segment of the show. So I'm just gonna play the intro, the little intro video as the break, so we can actually have our little break. And I will see you guys.
Altcoin bag holders, my name is Rafael Yeager. I'm addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fort imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust. They won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan in joining me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits. Altcoin bag holders, my name is Rafael Yeager. I'm addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fort imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust. They won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan and join in me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits. Altcoin bag holders, my name is Rafael Yeager. I'm addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fraud imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust, and they won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan and join in me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits.
Welcome back to the Altcoin Season Tour, the #1 altcoin focused live stream show that you can actually come and join me where I learn about some of the largest cryptocurrencies in the top 200. We vibe together and we just have fun, right? If you're just joining us, welcome. I'm your host again, Rafael. I am the creator of Flipping Finance, the #1 Gen Z financial entertainment media outlet. On X, you can follow me at on X at Flipping Finance, or you can follow me on you can subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Flipping Finance, and it's the same for Instagram or TikTok if you want to follow the page and follow along what we're doing. We host the Altcoin Season Tour live shows every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday, sometimes 10 a.m., sometimes 11 a.m. EST. And you don't want to miss when we talk about your favorite altcoin. So definitely come follow me on X, on all other social media platforms so that you can join the fun. So today, the topic of today, again, I just have to remind everybody, is Zcash, what the flip, because Zcash has been going up and I'm as confused as you. Because who the flip uses Zcash, right? I don't know who uses Zcash. So today I'm gonna try to learn about Zcash, and so you got to follow along with me. So we learn about it together. But before we go into that, right? Because you can see we have an order of events for this show. We've gone through the intro. We've done gone through some of the largest altcoins. We looked at their chart. So the next one is gonna be Zcash. I wasn't familiar with your game, right? Because I'm trying to understand Zcash game. So I'm gonna do a little research, a little more, right? Do my own research here, and you're gonna join me, right? So we're gonna do it together. We're gonna learn about Zcash. We're gonna understand why Zcash is even pumping. Before we go into that, I just want to go into some altcoin. I just want to go into some altcoin indexes, so we can see that the altcoin season index is showing 71%. So what this means pretty much is just about 71% of the altcoins, excluding stable coins, in the top 50 coins besides Bitcoin, like the top 50 altcoins here are outperforming Bitcoin. So this is the percentage of the top 50 altcoins that are performing Bitcoin, so they know if it's alt season or not, and it's about 71%. So the metric is sort of like 75% of all the major altcoins, excluding stable coins, are outperforming Bitcoin, then we're in altcoin season. And we can see that right now we're not in altcoin season, which is like, what's the point of the show? What's the point of the show if we're not in altcoin season? Because this is the altcoin season tour. Yeah, but jokes apart, right? I mean, 71, we're getting close. We're getting close. I believe we're gonna see all those altcoins start popping off. I mean, right now, there's a lot of pent-up pressure going on. And you can see Litecoin, which is one of the most established cryptocurrencies in the space. I mean, it's been here since 2011, and you can see how beautiful the chart looks. It's been really consolidating here. And if we see this altcoin season index start popping off into staying in consistently in like the 80% plus, we're probably going to see Litecoin pop off, right? And if we see Zcash sustain this rally, we're probably gonna see Zcash as well pop off and actually move to highs that like people never thought before, right? I mean, you see both of them looking really beautiful. I mean, if you just expand Litecoin, you can see the sky is the limit. And considering how much volume Zcash has used to move into these pumps, right? This is actually like very promising for Zcash. So we're just going to go ahead and look at what the altcoin sentiment is on X. We're just going to look at some altcoin season related posts. Alt season. So I'm searching alt season. So if you don't know, right, if this is your first time seeing some, you're not familiar with what happens in this space, whenever, Bitcoin is going up and altcoin is not going up, we're not in altcoin season, we're in Bitcoin season, right? So Bitcoin is going up, altcoins are not going up. And so, people keep saying altcoins are dead, blah, blah, blah. The sentiment is usually altcoins are dead. It's over. Buy only Bitcoin. And you see the Benjamin Cohens, they post, oh, buy only Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance, blah, blah, blah. And so I want to see what the sentiment is like. So this is from Bitcoin Census. The altcoin market is on the verge of a monumental breakout. This cup and handle breakout could lead to a real alt season we've been waiting for. That's Bitcoin Census. Bitcoin Census, are you not a Bitcoin page? Oh, okay. It's not like a Bitcoin Maxi page. I mean, I used to see Bitcoin Consensus. I used to think it was like a Maxi page or something. Oh, so you're looking at it. There was a lot of people. I mean, altcoin Gordon is like, history never repeats itself, but it often rhymes. All seasons. You understand? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of like these chart comparisons, honestly, because like I feel like a lot of people are probably gonna get like caught up in it. I mean, if you're looking at something, if everyone is looking at something, right? The market is rigged. They're probably gonna like mess it up, and then it messes with everybody. I mean, we're all expecting that alt season would have been like Q1 this year, and here we are, Q4, no alt season. So I mean, who knows, right? And yeah. Look at that. If we see a run here, what is this? This should be Ethereum's market cap, right? 300 and something billion. I see Ethereum going to 700 billion, 800 billion. I see Ethereum going there, but this is not like alt season. This is Ethereum. What's wrong with this dude? But yeah, I get the point, right? Ethereum is generally the leader of altcoin season. I mean, Ethereum is like the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap. So of course, it's the largest altcoin by market cap. So yeah, it definitely moves the index a lot. And alt season is usually when Ethereum's pumping. But I believe that like Litecoin can in fact be the leader of this altcoin season. I've been saying that for a while because that's what's gonna happen if we see Litecoin sort of like move with volume and probably goes on this tier, right? Yeah. And if you don't know what this is, this little thing I have is just a little measured move of what the move was in 2017. Because if you can see Litecoin in 2017 did something very similar to what it's doing now, where it wasn't, like a very long, consolidated, pennant right here, and then it broke out and went on this insane meteoric rise all the way to this was the peak, but I'm just going to use the peak of the channel, right? And so you can see how high Litecoin went. And, we went that high and we've sort of like been back in this consolidation channel while everyone is like, oh, yeah, it's dead. But if you just zoom out, you'd see we're pretty much repeating the same thing we did before, probably, just on a much larger time frame. And this is where I believe this probably resolves soon. I'm open to the possibility that it extends a little bit, but I'm expecting it to break soon. And I mean, if we see alt season, this time, I'm not the one that's saying it. That's just the measured move, right? $14,000 Litecoin. Might sound insane, might sound crazy. But hey, this is crypto, right? A lot of people are so used to the the pump and dumps of cryptos. They forget the way cryptos actually move, right? These things move by orders of magnitude. They're logarithmic assets. So like anything can happen. You can just see Litecoin rip, and it just continues to go up when it goes up. And considering the fact that like Litecoin is a store of value money, that's what it is. And that's what it's trying to go after, like the store of value. There's a lot of this hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of liquidity there that Bitcoin's trying to tap into, right? Compared to something like Ethereum, that's like a company or something, like in the perception of a lot of people, probably has a lot more market cap gain upside than people actually think. So yeah, I mean, if we see Litecoin go on an insane tear here, Litecoin might in fact be the one that actually leads this altcoin season. But yeah, I've gone for. Let's see more tweets, right? Altcoin market cap, excluding stable coins, is yet to hit a new all-time high. Most people are calling for alt season based on the altcoin market cap. I'm certain the altcoin season will happen, but not until altcoin market cap, excluding stables, hit a new all-time high. We definitely expect. Oh yeah, I see that. I see that now. Yeah, I see it. So like the general altcoin market cap excluding stables is not. This is the chart a lot of people like using. Like that's the thing. Like when most people are like charting and shit, and we're trying to like push for like narratives that we want, we end up like blindsiding ourselves to the fact that like we go for some metrics that are just not representative of the reality. I see a lot of people post this total market cap that includes stable coin, but the ones that exclude BTC, ETH, and stable coins, that's probably a better indicator of what's going to happen. So we're probably gonna, if we see this break, yeah, I mean that's going to be good. Yeah, I think that's a very solid take from Tad. Yeah, we probably need to see more for altcoin season to come, right? We need to see more. Hopefully Litecoin leads us there. Litecoin go on a tear. If Litecoin like just goes on an absolute freaking blast and everything sort of drags along, we could see that happen. I personally think Litecoin outperforms everything in the market though. Very huge Litecoin guy. I really love Litecoin. Oh boy, give me a break. Yeah, I don't really like seeing this type of charts. Oh, alt season start too. Which 100x gem are you picking? You can see all. No, I'm not a fan of this. Yeah, I mean everyone is pretty optimistic about altcoin season. Yeah, alt season kicks off October 20. Oh, that's a bold prediction. We're 18 day out, and the shift is already here. Liquidity is surging, volume is waking up. This is your final chance to flip $100 into $257,000. Okay. Funny enough, it's still gonna happen. There's still some coins that are gonna pull that off. You can see that, right? Yeah, it's pretty much this same chart. It's pretty much this same chart, but like on a log scale. Because that one's linear and this one's log. It's the exact same thing. I'm not really a fan of those. The alt season starts in October. Everyone is very positive alt season now. That's beautiful to see. And compared to what we used to see before, right? I had a little alt season meme just a few days ago. Yeah, I had this little. You can see this was September 24, right? It's about a week ago, and we see people that were, rather negative about the whole altcoin season, shit, right? Look at this person, like, alt season's coming, bros. Yo, this is real. This is real. Yeah, like alt season's here. When you see the point, that's just dumb. Alt season's here. It's a problem, Yeah, this was the sentiment, not just about a week ago. Everyone's like, alt season's dead. It's all gone. I mean, it's never going back up, right? And right now we're seeing some of the altcoins move up, and it's flipped back. Now there's a lot of people that are more positive about altcoin season than before. Anyways, we're gonna move into the next segment of this live stream, which is Zcash. I wasn't familiar with your game. This is a Zcash only segment. We're gonna dive into what exactly is making Zcash pump, what Zcash is about, because I don't get it. So, I'm gonna do that in a bit. After that, we're just gonna do this. 3 and 4, we're gonna do it together. We're gonna look at everything together with the Bitcoin adoption, Zcash adoption. We're gonna do everything together. So, I'm just gonna play the our little break, and so I'll catch you guys in a few minutes, and then we jump into the next section of this stream.
Altcoin bag holders, my name is Rafael Yeager. I am addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fraud imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust, and they won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan and join in me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits. Altcoin bag holders, my name is Raphael Yeager. I'm addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fraud imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust, and they won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan and join in me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits. Altcoin bag holders, my name is Raphael Yeager. I'm addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fraud imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust, and they won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan and join in me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits.
Welcome back to the Altcoin Season Tour. I am your host, as usual, Raphael. This Altcoin Season Tour is the only #1 altcoin dedicated live stream in all of the cryptoverse, right? And it is a fun live stream we host every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, where we come together to try to learn about some of the largest cryptocurrencies in the top 200 as listed on market cap, connect to their communities, and, do everything in a fun way, in a way that's fun and engaging. That's the whole point of the Altcoin Season Tour. So if you're a fan of altcoins, then you definitely need to follow us, Flipping Finance on X, and you can subscribe to the channel, Flipping Finance on YouTube. And so you can join the Altcoin Season Tour and you do not miss when we actually talk about your favorite altcoin. Today, we are talking about Zcash. What the flip? And if you don't know why we're talking about Zcash, I'm just going to show you right now. This is why we're talking about Zcash. Zcash has been putting up a dildo show for everybody, right? The past few days, where you can see that you see how it's just been exploding up and to the right recently. Yeah. And you can see that this right here is why we're actually having this episode. Because someone needs to explain why Zcash is, why Zcash is moving like this. So we're going to try to learn Zcash. In case you don't know, again, this is how we do it on the Altcoin Season Tour. I don't really know anything about Zcash besides it's a privacy coin, right? So I'm just going to do my best in trying to learn about Zcash in the most noob way possible. And you're going to join me. And we're going to learn it together. We're going to have fun, okay? This is how we're going to do it. So I'm just going to go straight in. Noob, absolute noob. We're going to learn about it, right? So let's go to the first thing I want to see about Zcash. So this is the Zcash website. Zcash is an encrypted electronic cash, the first cryptocurrency to develop ZK encryption for peer-to-peer payment, peer-to-peer payments. I know about Zk. Zero knowledge for EVM, right? EVM based layer two solutions um, for things like for example, what LeadVM is trying to do with Litecoin. They're trying to create like a layer two that's ZK for Litecoin, and it's also, I think it's the same with Arbitrum. I think Arbitrum is also ZK. Why Optimism is optimistic, but yeah, I don't know how ZK knowledge encryption works. On a proof of work blockchain like Zcash, right? Because Zcash is proof of work. By the way, but let's read, right? So okay. So there's a place for us to learn Zcash here. Oh my God, what a flex, bro! Current price USD 113. This is insane. This is incredible. I'm so happy for everyone who holds Zcash, right? Because you can see how very low we were just about February, right? We sort of like spiked down to 25. So like we're on our way to like a 10x, right? It's just like a 60% away from a 10x, I guess, at this point, like a 67% away from a 10x. That's very good for Zcash. So let's learn about Zcash. What is Zcash, bro? What is Zcash? Learn Zcash. So how to use Zcash? Zcash is a private, fast, and accessible for everyone. Zcash is private. I said Zcash is a private. Zcash is private, fast, and accessible for everyone. Use your mobile phone or computer to privately pay a friend, send money overseas, buy groceries, or send a donation. Okay. Now, I'm just a crypto end user, right? I'm not a dev, so a lot of this terminology, this thing that I'm seeing here, I might not understand. So I'm going to be inviting my very good friend to come teach me about how to use Zcash. And my very good friend is Grok. Hey, Grok, you're going to explain a lot of these things to me. So let's learn it together. This is how to use Zcash. I think this sort of like takes us to, if we continue to go how to use Zcash, kind of like takes us to a hands-on a way to like transact with Zcash. I don't want to do any transactions. I just want to learn it, right? So let's go down a little bit. What is Zcash? Let's look at it. What's Zcash? How do I guess this is an article or something? So what is Zcash? Store it, spend it, or send it. Zcash is digital currency and a store of value that keeps all your financial information private and in your control. Zcash is a cryptocurrency built to empower economic freedom. It is similar to Bitcoin in design. In fact, Zcash was created from the original Bitcoin code base, but it uses a privacy technology that encrypts transaction information and allows users to shield their assets. Zcash was conceived by scientists at MIT, Johns Hopkins, and other respected academic and scientific institutions. You can buy or trade Zcash on most major exchanges like Gemini and Coinbase. So that's what Zcash is about. But I don't understand what any of this is, right? So I'm just going to copy all this. I'm going to ask Grok to explain it to me like I'm a child, right? Yo, Grok! Yo, Grok! Oh my God, where's the exclamation mark? Oh boy, I'm so Gen Z. I don't even know where the exclamation mark is on a PC. Okay, there you go. Explain. So I'm going to ask. No. Oh my God, I freaking hate that enter is send. Jeez. Enter being send is the most annoying feature. Whoever thought about that, you need to go. Anyways. No. Oh my God, I copied the tagline as well. I'm supposed to like, yeah. Yo, explain it to me like I'm 10. Let's understand what Zcash is in a very simple way. This is cool. Yeah, so let's learn together. Let's learn what all of that mumbo jumbo is. Okay. Imagine Zcash like a super cool secret version of digital money, kind of like Bitcoin. It's built from the same basic idea as Bitcoin, but with a special twist. It's super private. When you use Zcash, it's like sending money in a secret envelope that only you and the person you're sending it to can open. Nobody else can see what's inside or who even sent it. So smart scientists from big schools like MIT, and John Hopkins made Zcash to help people keep their money private and safe. It's like having a secret hideout for your allowance. You can get Zcash or trade it on places like Gemini, blah blah blah. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, privacy. You got to use crypto in a way that is private, because a lot of people that don't really understand how crypto works, that are not crypto natives, they might think like Bitcoin is anonymous, but it's not. It's pseudonymous. A lot of the things that happens can still be tracked to like your IP address or like your exchanges. When you send it to an exchange, they can see it. But yeah, something like Zcash helps to protect your privacy, and that's the idea of what Zcash is about. So let's see if there's a how to use it. No, I don't. So okay, before we go to how to use Zcash, I want to see how Zcash works. Right, I'm not seeing anything like that. Okay, yeah, let's look at it. Okay, we're just gonna do that, right? We're gonna go to how Zcash is different from Bitcoin. So you can see Zcash is a digital currency like Bitcoin, but it protects the user's privacy instead of exposing their financial history. Yes, which is something that's good. And Litecoin actually has a feature like this called the MWeb, the Mimblewimble extension block. It's a layer 2 on Litecoin chain that allows for privacy. So yeah, Litecoin has that, and that's what Zcash is. So it allows you to do privacy, because every single Bitcoin transaction is going to be looked up by anyone, literally anyone. You could just go to Blockchain Explorer, check any address, and you can see all the transactions. And like Zcash protects against that. So yeah. So when Bitcoin was released in 2009, I'm just going to switch to a nice British accent. So when Bitcoin was released in 2009, it was the first ever decentralized cryptocurrency. All Bitcoin transactions are verified and recorded on a public blockchain, which means that anyone in the world can see user balances and transaction data. This lack of privacy inspired by a group of scientists. This lack of privacy inspired a group of scientists to build something better. And in 2016, cryptography experts took Bitcoin's open source code and added zero-knowledge proofs, amongst other improvements, to create Zcash. Zcash offers all the conveniences of Bitcoin, but with full encryption to protect users' financial information. Deep. There are other important differences, e.g., a self-funding mechanism in Zcash, shorter confirmation times, a memo field, and more. That's interesting. So we've been seeing zero knowledge. What is zero knowledge? Hey, that's not helping me. Just say something zero knowledge. I have zero knowledge of what zero knowledge is. Okay, so let's understand what they mean by zero knowledge in Zcash. So I'm just gonna ask Grok, bro, Grok, come help me out. Grok, you need to help me out. Explain how Zcash zero knowledge works to me, like I'm a flipping, oh boy, idiot. Oh, cool. Now let's learn about how ZK works in Zcash. So, yo, get out of here. Who's your little cousin? The hell's the problem? Yo, Grok, don't piss me off, bro. Anyways, so this is how Zcash zero knowledge works, right? And this is what makes it different from Bitcoin. The zero knowledge that they created Zcash with to make it private. This is how it works. So imagine you've got a super cool toy box with a magical lock. You want to prove to your friend that you've got a specific toy in there, like a shiny Pokemon card, without opening the box or showing them the card. Sounds impossible, right? Because I mean, obviously that's freaking impossible, right? Are you going to show them? But with Zcash zero knowledge magic, you can prove it without revealing anything else. How are you going to do that? That's actually magic if that happens. Anyways, let's see. So here's how it works, step by step, and super easy. Zcash is like a secret money. When you send Zcash to someone, you can use a special shielded mode. This hides three things. 1, who sent the money? 2, who got it? And 3, how much was sent? It's like mailing a secret letter that only the receiver can read. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if anyone has ever used like a secret letter thing where like write it on a paper and like the person has to hold it up on, hold it in front of like a candle and then you see everything. Yeah, so that's what I mean by secret letter. Anyways, so zero knowledge proofs, aka ZK snarks. This is a fancy magical look. Oh, yo, chat. I need to get my orientation. So yeah, two zero knowledge proofs, ZK snarks. This is the fancy magic lock. It's called a ZK snack, which sounds like a sneezing robot, but it means zero knowledge such a non-interactive argument of knowledge. What the fuck? Basically, it's a way to prove your transaction is legit without showing any details. It's like saying, "Yep, I've got a toy," and your friend just trusts you because of the magic lock without seeing inside. So it's like having, oh, if I think about that, right? Like imagine I have like a box, and as I have a toy inside that box, and the ZK snack is like a little key, right? It's like a little key that I can just show him, right? And it's like I can show him that, oh, that's it, and it's sort of like has a way of proving to him that he got. Yo, if I don't understand this the way Grok is explaining it to me, then I have an IQ that is lower than that of a 10-year-old. That is not a good look at all. What the flip? Anyways, let's keep going. So, how the magic happens. When you make a shielded Zcash transaction, the computer does some crazy math to create a tiny proof. This proof tells everyone on the Zcash network, hey, this deal is real and the money is good. But it doesn't spill the bean on who you are or what you sent. It's like a secret handshake that only the network understands. Hmm. So it's like some mafia shit, huh? Like mafia. The way the mafia they do their interaction and all. That is what it is. That is how it appears to me. Anyways, let's keep going. Why it's cool. This keeps your money private, so nobody can snoop on what you're doing. It's like having an invisible wallet that only you control. But the network still makes sure nobody's cheating, like trying to send fake money, right? Because that's the thing. That's the thing. I want to know exactly how it protects, how it prevents double spending, using its privacy, ZK's privacy. Because like the way it works on ZK knowledge, ZK on ZK layer twos on Ethereum is like since Ethereum is slow, right? The ZK layer twos they take like a bunch of Ethereum a bunch of transactions, and then they process it on like the layer two chain, which is this other chain that actually has more capacity, can process a lot more, and they sort of like create like magic codes to like ascribe proofs to all this transaction, and then they bulk it up into one large index of plenty transactions, and then like creates a little magic code as well, put it like that, for this lump of transactions, and it just sends that to the layer one, and then the layer one's like, oh yeah, cool, it's a real transaction, and then it works. And so that's how ZK works on like layer twos. It was like, how does it work in Zcash is what I want to understand. So anyways, why it's cool. This keeps your money private so nobody can snoop on what you're doing. It's like having an invisible wallet that only you control, but the network still makes sure no one's cheating. How does it solve double spend? Because like, let's use this analogy, right? So let's use the same box analogy. I've got a box, I've got a toy inside, a fancy toy, and I want to prove to my friend that I do have it, right? Logically, forget about the magic involved, right? It's my toy is a Schrodinger's toy, right? It may or may not be there at that point, and so how do you, if we're gonna just take that to probably as a 50-50 just based off my words, it means there's a possibility that half the time you can just expand that to like infinite universes. Half the time it's there, half the time it's not there. So how do you prevent him from believing it's there at the time it's not there. And that's the question of how do you solve double spend, right? Because like, I mean, if I'm sending a transaction but you can't, the blockchain can't really see the transaction itself, it's just seeing this proof, right? This proof. How exactly does that, like, verify? What if it's just a proven transaction is not there? So because if just a proven transaction is not there, then that's a double spend. I mean, you spend the same coins twice. So how do you prevent that? So how does Zcash prevent double spend? Grok, how does Zcash prevent double spend? I want to know how Zcash prevents double spend, bro. Yo, that's a skeeto, bro. So, all right, let's talk about how Zcash stops double spending. Interesting. That's when someone try to yeah. So what's double spending? Imagine you have $1 in your piggy bank, but you try to give it to two friends for ice cream. That's not fair, right? In the digital world, double spending is when someone tries to use the same digital coins twice. Zcash makes sure this can happen. So like that's the whole point of Bitcoin is stop solving the double spend, and that's what crypto is like. Sort of like what gives crypto some sort of value, right? It's the first time Bitcoin was the first time ever there was a digital money that could not be like replicated. You can't spend it twice. So yeah, I want to see how Zcash stops double spend. So Zcash works a lot like Bitcoin because it's built from the same code, blah, blah, blah. It uses a blockchain to keep everything honest. Now, here's how it prevents double step by step in a way, even a flipping idiot. Yes! W Grok. Grok just called me a flipping idiot. Yeah, that's getting roasted by Grok was not on my bingo card for 2025. But hey, I take it. Grok has a good sense of humor. Hey, Elon, shout out to you. That's freaking cool. So the blockchain ledger. Think of the blockchain as a big shared notebook that everyone in Zcash Club has. Every time someone spends Zcash, it gets written in this notebook. Like you've got one Zcash to Timmy, you gave one Zcash to Timmy, and everyone's copy of the notebook gets updated. Yeah, so everyone knows that the money's been spent. Okay, checking the notebook, right? How do we check the notebook? So before you can spend Zcash, networks checks the notebook to make sure you haven't already spent the money somewhere else. Just like the ice cream shop checking if your dollar is still yours to spend. If you try to spend the same Zcash twice, the network says nope, already spent. So the ZK magic, the ZK snark. Even with Zcash's secret shielded transaction where nobody sees who's hiding what, the network still uses those fancy ZK snacks, the magic lock forms from before to prove your transaction is valid. It checks that you're not using money without revealing. It checks that you using money without revealing any private details. Okay, it's like proving you have a real dollar without showing your wallet. Okay, so miners and node keep it honest. Okay, people who call miners and nodes are like, yeah, so like the miners and nodes are the ones that are actually like validating transactions and like keeping the record of everything. So yeah, they are like referees. They double check every transaction and make sure it follows the rules before adding it to the blockchain. If you try to double spend, they catch it and say no way, cheater. Okay, so so how do they double check it? Honestly, how do they double check it without seeing the transaction itself? So I guess that's what it is, right? Unique serial number. So for shielded transactions, Zcash uses something called a nullify. It's like giving each coin a secret ID number. When you spend a coin, its ID gets marked as used in its notebook. If you try to spend it again, the network sees the ID. Okay, I get it. So it sort of like gives the way it prevents the double spend, it gives every single coin like a unique secret ID number, and once that gets like processed, like once everyone can see that's processed, it's like that's it just marks it as nullified. It's been spent, so you can't use it again. I think that's cool. So in a nutshell, what Zcash is Zcash is a coin that allows you to spend your money in a way that no flipping person can actually see what you're doing. And that's great, right? Some other coins that do this same thing, are Monero and Litecoin's MWeb. Litecoin actually is one of the things that not a lot of people know, but like people that are not like very proof of work or Litecoin oriented don't understand is that Litecoin actually has a privacy layer, right? MWeb, where you can actually send transactions anonymously and no one can see what you're doing, right? The hackers, the bad actors, they can see what you're doing, which is great, right? Because you don't want to give, if crypto is going to be the future of finance, right? You don't want anyone seeing your salary and seeing exactly how much you got paid when, it's very creepy to say the least, right? And so, Bitcoin does not have that, and that's why Zcash is great, right? Because it allows you to spend, your coins in a way that no one can see what you're spending, and that's what we just went through right now. It's the whole ZK Cash, ZK Snark, ZK, all of that. All of that simply means it's a fancy way that the blockchain uses to, verify transactions, right? And process transactions without really revealing the information inside to the other, node operators and to the other miners. So let's just say privacy. So another coin that does this, again, like I said before, is Monero. We're gonna see which is better, Zcash or Monero. So I'm just gonna ask Grok. This is the way to research, by the way. If you're this is the Gen Z way to research. Yeah. By the way, if you want to go follow us, Flipping Finance. Follow us on X. This is the X page. You can follow us. We can have fun. We host the Altcoin Season Tour every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., sometimes 11 a.m. EST. So, Grok, which is better, Zcash or Monero? Which has better privacy, Zcash or Monero? So we're going to see who has better privacy in Zcash or Monero. Explain normally, okay? No. Oh my God. Henry Sand is so annoying. Explain normally. Don't explain to me like I'm an idiot anymore. That is so exhausting. I thought that was gonna be like fun, but that's not fun at all. All of the explanations, I'm not hearing anything technical, anything that's explaining it well to me. So just explain it to me normally. I'll try to see how I can break it down. So, all right, let's dive into comparing the future. I'm just gonna switch to my British accents, okay? If you don't mind, I need to sound proper while I'm learning this. So if you're gonna learn along why Zcash is better than Monero with me, then we've got to do it in the proper way. So Zcash's privacy is built on Bitcoin's code base, but adds a powerful privacy feature called the ZK Snark, aka zero knowledge system, non-instinct interactive arguments of knowledge. This allows for shielded transactions where the sender, receiver, and transaction amount are encrypted and hidden from the public blockchain. Here's how it works. Optional privacy. Now, Zcash offers two types of addresses: the transparent address, the T addresses, like Bitcoin's public address, and the shielded address, aka the Z address. So you choose whether to make a transaction private or not. Shielded transactions use a ZK snarks to prove the transaction is valid without revealing details. Okay. Now compare that to Monero. Okay. So we're gonna see how it works for Zcash, and we're gonna see how it works for Monero. Then we're gonna be, oh my God, I can't read all this. I can't read all this because of time. Just gonna try to glance through. So how we hide stuff. In a shielded transaction, ZK snarks create a cryptographic proof that ensures the transaction follows the rules, e.g. no double spending, without showing who sent it, who received it, or how much was sent. It's like proving you paid for something without showing your receipt. Interesting. So, blockchain visibility. Transparent transactions are fully visible on the blockchain, like Bitcoin, showing addresses and amounts. Shielded transactions hide all the details, but the blockchain still shows that a transaction happened, just not the specifics. Adoption of privacy. In practice, not all Zcash transactions use shielded addresses because it's optional, right? Many users and wallets stick to transparent transactions for convenience or lower computational cost, which reduces overall privacies for these transactions. Okay, so now let's look at Monero privacy. So what I understand from Zcash's privacy is that Zcash's privacy is optional. It's not automatic. It's optional. You got to choose it, right? I understand. Okay, cool. That's what I've got from this. And they use shielded they use shielded addresses, and uses ZK snarks to prove the transactions. So it uses zero knowledge. It's a ZK based ZK snark based privacy. Let's see what Monero is about. So Monero is designed to be private by default with no option to make the transaction public. So Zcash is, hey brother, you want private transaction or public transaction? Choose your poison. Monero is like, there's no choice, there's no option. It's privacy or nothing. Yes, privacy is free. It's freaking privacy. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, anyways, Monero is designed to be private by default, with no option to make transactions public. It uses a combination of privacy technologies to ensure all transactions are secured. Here's the breakdown: mandatory privacy. Every Monero transaction automatically hides the sender, receiver, and amounts. You don't get a choice. Who are you, mere mortal, to choose whether or not you should have a choice? To choose whether or not you should have a choice whether or not your transaction is private on Monero. You dare not. It's private all the time. Key privacy features: ring signatures. So when something like Zcash uses ZK snarks, interesting. Monero uses ring signature. Interesting. This is why you should come join me at the Altcoin Season Tour, right? Because we learn about all of these things in this way, right? We learn about all of this. We learn, we boost our knowledge about these things together. Oh, wow. So ring signatures. When you use Monero, your transaction is mixed with other users' transactions, making it hard to tell who the real sender is. It's like signing a group letter where no one can pinpoint your signature. Stealth addresses. Every transaction generates a unique one-time address for the receiver, so no one can link the payment to the public address. Oh, wow. Interesting. So first of all, it mixes the transactions with that of other users to create privacy. And then it mixes, all of that transactions with a bunch of other transactions, so nobody gets to see it. So that's the Monero way. Why Zcash uses the ZK snark, the zero knowledge snarks, to sort of shield, the transactions, to prove the transactions happen without really showing it. So that's the difference, right? So the ring CT, confidential transaction. So this hides the transaction amount, so outsiders can see how much money was sent. Blockchain visibility. The Monero blockchain shows transactions, but they're heavily obfuscated. You can't see addresses, amounts, or link transactions to specific users without serious effort. And even then, it's extremely difficult. Consistent privacy. Since privacy is mandatory, every transaction benefits from the same level of protection, creating a uniform privacy standard across the network. Interesting. So now let's compare the both. Let's compare to Zcash to Monero with regards to privacy. So privacy by default, optional, or default versus optional. So yeah, Monero is by force privacy. You do not have any choice in whether or not you protect your transaction from the prying eyes of bad actors. But Zcash privacy is optional. You get to decide. Do you want to hide the transactions, or you want the world to see? You have to decide. So that's one difference. So strength of privacy tech. So Zcash, ZK snarks are incredibly powerful. They provide near perfect privacy for shielded transactions by mathematically proving validity without revealing any data. However, they require a trusted setup, a one-time ceremony to generate cryptographic keys, which some argues introduces a small risk if the setup was compromised. So it requires a trusted setup for to create the shielded transactions. I want to understand how that works. I'm gonna open another grok. I need two grok. I need another one of you. I need another one of you. I need two different groks here, because I need to be able to ask some of these things. I want to expand on them. I want to understand exactly what the flip. So explain. I want to know what the trusted setup. Explain explain Zcash. Explain Zcash's oh my god. Explain Zcash's trusted setup. What you mean trusted setup? Yeah. So explain Zcash's ZK Snark trusted setup to me. Like I'm not gonna say 10 anymore. I'm gonna say 16. Like I'm 16. I don't want it to be so brain dead. Let's go. All right. So this is it, right? So huh? All right. Let's break down Zcash's ZK Snark trusted setup like you're 16. I'm explaining it over soda at the skate. Stop, bro. I'm not drinking soda at the skate park. What's your problem, bro? What do you mean? What do you mean? Yo, Grok, you're rage baiting me, bro. You're rage baiting me. Yo, take a chill. Anyways, let's go. Let's understand. I'm just speaking back enough of what this thing said, right? Because I'm seeing it, right. It provides near perfect privacy if issued transactions by mathematically proving validity without revealing any data. But however, this mathematic proving of validity without revealing data requires a trusted setup. And they say the small risk of the setup is if the setup is compromised. So I want to understand what that setup is and how it can be compromised. So let's see. So all right, let's break down Zcash's ZK Snark's trusted setup. Like you're okay, and I'm not reading any of that. Zcash is a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, blah blah blah, but it's super focused on privacy. It uses something called a ZK Snark, zero knowledge, blah 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 blah. We've read that one before, so I want to understand now how the trusted setup is. So the trusted setup is a special step needed to make ZK Snarks work in Zcash. Think of it like setting up a super secure lockbox that everyone can use safely. Rather, here's how it goes: secret keys are created. So it first creates a secret key. Nice. To make ZK Snarks work, Zcash need some special cryptographic keys, like a secret code. And these keys are generated in a one-time ceremony, kind of a secret ritual. The keys have two parts: a public part, which everyone uses to make private transactions, and a private part, which is called the toxic waste because it's dangerous if it leaks. How? Yo, bro, that's the thing I like. I mean, that's the thing I love about like researching issues like this. Now I wanna know how the toxic waste can be dangerous if it leaks. Hmm, pretty interesting. Yeah. Anyways, now the ceremony. A small group of people, in Zcash's case, 6 folks back in 2016, got together to create these keys. Each person generated a piece of the secret code on separate computers. The trick, if even one of these computers stays secure and destroys its piece of the toxic waste afterwards, the system stays safe. Hmm. It's like if you and your friends each write part of a secret message, and as long as one of you burns the piece, no one can ever recreate the full secret. So why is it called trusted? Here's the cash. You have to trust that at least one of the 6 people destroyed their piece of the toxic waste and didn't keep it or share it. If someone keeps all the pieces, they could theoretically fake transactions and mess with Zcash's privacy. And that's why it's called a trusted setup. You're trusting the people in the ceremony, to be honest. Why it's a big deal? Well, the trusted setup only happens once, and Zcash has worked hard to make it secure. They even did a super elaborate ceremony with air-gapped computers and all. But some people don't love that you have to trust anyone at all, even a little. Yeah, that's why we keep screaming decentralization in crypto. It's like nobody wants to trust anyone with your money, right? I mean, if you're gonna put your money, your value, your work on a decentralized network, right? You want to store your value on a magic computer. Last thing I want to do is like hope that it's secured by someone or something, or any decision that is, hinging on somebody's actions. I just don't want that. Anyways, so hmm. So you trust in the people in the ceremony, to be honest. So the way I understand is like, these group of people, like 6 people, for example, back in 2016, they got together to create these keys, and each person generated a piece, of the secret code on separate computers. And so if even one of these computers stays secure and destroys its piece of the toxic waste afterward, the system stays safe. And so yeah, this depends a lot on these people being, at least, all of them destroying the toxic waste, you know. Hmm. So how does the toxic waste affect? How does the toxic? I'm not done here. Anyways, let's just finish this. So why it's a big deal? The trusted setup only happens once. Okay, we've spoken about this. So in short, ZK Snark's trusted setup is like a one-time secret handshake. Okay, good. Now, how, Rock? No, I'm not leaving you alone. How does What is the toxic waste? What what is the toxic waste? Why is it even called that? Like, I feel like they're just trying to sound like super villains, like toxic waste. So the toxic waste in Zcash is ZK Snark Trust Setup is a secret data, private cryptographic keys created during the ceremony used to set up the system. Think of it like the answer key to a super secure lock. If someone gets hold of this toxic waste, they could potentially break the Zcash's privacy by faking transaction. So it's the answer to a super secure lock. Yeah. So if someone gets their hand on it, they can break Zcash's privacy by faking transactions or figuring out private details. Okay. Oh, so everybody destroyed this secret data to keep the system safe. Okay. So I mean, I'm gonna think, right, based off of this, right, that during the event, the ceremony, I want to know. I'm just gonna think, right, that everyone saw the way it went, and like people can sort of like have some sort of like confidence. But again, that still hinges on trusting to a degree. Yeah. Uh so yeah, Monero ring signatures, stealth addresses, and ring CT are robust, and you don't rely on a trusted setup. They create strong privacy by mixing and obscuring data, and they're less mathematically elegant than Zk snarks and can be computationally heavier. There's a lot of theoretical risk of de-anonymization if someone analyzes the blockchain with enough resources. So if ring signatures have a few, just too few mixins or decoys, they can actually figure it out. But Monero constantly improves to minimize this. All right. Network-wide privacy. Now, because every transaction is private, the network has a herd immunity effect. Even if you're careful, no one can accidentally expose you by using a less private method. This makes Monero's privacy more consistent. Okay. Zcash, since privacy is optional, network overall privacy depends on how many people use shielded transactions. So if most transactions are transparent, as historical data shows, often over 80% of Zcash. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Often over 80% of Zcash's transactions are not fully shielded. It's easier for someone to analyze the blockchain and potentially link transparent and shielded activities. Hmm. You know what I say right there? Now, this is what I heard. Every single transaction on Monero is private by default, right? So like the whole network is private, but the privacy of Zcash sort of like depends on how many people are using shielded transactions. So Zcash, remember, it has two, but the private, and that's the shielded transaction, and the normal transparent one that everyone can see. So okay, so since most people, or about 80% of people using Zcash, are not using the shielded transaction, the private transactions, it's very easier for someone to analyze the blockchain and potentially link transparent and shielded activity. Yes, because like I mean, if you want to spot something that is like wrong, right? You want to see a transaction, you're tracking a transaction, and it's a shielded transaction, right? If let's imagine it's 100,000 transaction that happen over the week, you know you have to look through, and 100% of them are private. You have to look through 100,000 transactions, right? But if it's just about 20,000 or 15,000 transactions that are private, then that sort of like reduces the pool of what you're looking for, and just sort of reduces it to about 15,000. So you have a much higher chances of actually tracking what you're looking for on Zcash based off of that compared to that of Monero. Nice, nice. So ease of use and adoption. Zcash shielded transactions are computationally intensive and can be slower or harder for wallets to support. So many users and exchanges stick to transparent addresses, reducing privacy. However, newer protocols like Orchard, Zcash's latest shielded protocols are improving efficiency. Yeah. Monero. Privacy is seamless because it's built in, but Monero transactions can be large due to ring signatures, which means higher fees or slower confirmation times compared to Zcash's transparent transactions. Most Monero wallets handle privacy automatically, making it user friendly. So they're both computationally high, but hmm, hmm, this is interesting. Yeah. Now, auditability. Zcash offers viewing keys for shielded transactions, allowing users to selectively review transaction details, e.g., to an auditor or tax authority. Oh, without compromising the whole systems. Oh, this is great for businesses or regulated environments. So, oh yeah, so Zcash allows you to be able to show the tax authorities your transaction. So you own your privacy. You can show the tax authorities, hey, these are my private, my transactions, right? You can show them your transactions, so they can audit it. But Monero doesn't have built-in auditability, so revealing a transaction requires sharing private keys, which is less flexible and could expose more than intended. So with Zcash, you can sort of show them your transaction history to the right authorities that might need that data without giving them access to the actual funds. But there's no such thing like that with Monero. The only way they can see it is they have to get hold of it. So yeah. So which has better privacy? Now that's what we're looking for. Monero generally offers stronger privacy for most users because its privacy is mandatory and applies to every transaction. So this creates a more private ecosystem overall, and there's no risk of users accidentally exposing data by choosing a private option. Its combination of ring signatures, stealth addresses, and ring CT makes it very hard, although not impossible, to trace transactions. Zcash, however, has potentially stronger privacy for individual serial transactions due to the power of ZK marks, which are nearly unbreakable for hiding details. However, because its privacy is optional and many transactions are transparent, the network's overall privacy is weaker unless everyone uses shielded addresses consistently. So, which is better for you? So if you want to use one of these, choose Monero, right? If you want automatic, no-brainer privacy for every transaction and don't mind slightly higher fees or less regulatory friendly features, it's ideal for users who prioritize consistent network-wide anonymity. So choose Zcash if you want flexibility to choose between private and public transactions, or need features like viewing keys or auditing for taxes. I think that's actually something like I can liken what Zcash does to something like what MWeb does. It's just that Litecoin's MWeb is like a second layer. It's a parallel chain. It's a parallel blockchain. Why Zcash is just you got to choose the optional privacy, but still on the main chain, which is cool. So final thoughts. Monero's mandatory privacy makes it the go-to for most people seeking maximum anonymity without extra effort. But Zcash's shielded transactions are incredibly private, but the optional nature and lower adoption of shielded transactions can weaken its privacy in practice. Both are excellent for privacy compared to Bitcoin or non-privacy coins, like Ethereum. But Monero edges out for consistent default protection, while Zcash shines for flexibility and cutting edge cryptography. So this is the TLDR from what I've read. Um, the way Zcash's privacy works is it creates this it uses the zk snarks protocol to shield transactions. It uses it to shield the transactions, and so it just communicates the transactions with the chain and the miners and the nodes without revealing the amount that's been spent or who spent what or who's receiving what. While Monero sort of like mixes it with like a bunch of other you know transactions. It just uses like one random keys, and it also uses random addresses, right? So it's not one address that they could just look at and see the entire history. It's random addresses, so they cannot know who or what used what at the same time. So that's the difference between the way it works. So that's ZK. The individual transactions on Zcash are being made private, while that of Monero, they are actually mixed together, and that's the privacy in it. And so the thing is, from what I'm seeing as well, Zcash allows it allows for like optional privacy. So most people that use Zcash don't actually use it with privacy, 80%, right? While about 20% use it with privacy, which means that if any, let's say, hacker or malicious individual is trying to track a transaction or something, and they know the transaction is private, then that reduces the sample size. Because if it's the whole blockchain, then you have to look at all of the transactions. But if it's just about 20% of the transactions, then that reduces the sample size and sort of boosts your odds of being able to find the transactions, while all of Monero transactions are hidden. So it's going to be much less difficult by statistics to be able to pick a Zcash transaction, like track it compared to like that of Monero. However, Zcash's zk snarks are way more private and way more secure than Monero's ring signatures, and that's what I'm seeing here. And so yeah, if you want consistent privacy, you go to Monero. If you want strong individual privacy, you go to Zcash, and that's what I'm getting from this. That's interesting, actually. That's absolutely interesting. Sorry, just give me a minute. Hmm. Okay. Um. anyways. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's Monero versus Zcash in a nutshell, I guess. That's it. That's the difference between both of them. Oh my god, I'm already getting exhausted. I never thought I was gonna get this exhausted this fast. Um, I never knew I was gonna get this exhausted this fast. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, I've learned something. Yeah, and I hope you have as well. If you're here with us. Um, So yeah, that's the TLDR on that. So let's just we're gonna look at Zcash and Monero. We're gonna look at their chart. We're gonna see which is doing better. Um, you know, and so that we can, I mean, Monero had its run. Uh, Monero had its run in 20, yeah, this year actually. It had a really good run this year, and now Zcash is picking up. So probably the market is saying something about these privacy coins. Maybe there's an increased appetite for them. You know, I mean, Litecoin is technically not a privacy coin, so I don't think that affects Litecoin. But yeah, I mean, it's something that's interesting to explore. You can explore Litecoin's privacy if you want. Its privacy feature, it has it, and it's actually good and very easy to use. You can use it on Cake Wallet or any of the rest. Anyways, so let's look at Zcash, and you can see Zcash is still holding strong here. I believe it's I'm just gonna look at the I'm just gonna look at the macro chart, right? This is the only one I care about. All I care about is this one, the long term chart, right? And with these candles, like I said again, these are very strong candles. But let's look at XMR. Let's see. We're gonna see what XMR is telling us. XMR looks good. Jesus, are you serious? Monero looks good, bro. It looks much better than Zcash. I don't know if it's just because I'm using. Can I let me go look at Zcash on Kraken? Monero looks very good. Looks like it's held up so much. And then about like people don't really see a lot of people that they look at the linear chart. They don't look at the log chart, so they don't get it. Yeah, Monero looks good, better than Zcash, I'd say. Because like, what is this? This looks like it's just been bleeding down, and it's just about trying to recover now. But I'm gonna look at it on Kraken, I guess. Where's Kraken? So I feel like Kraken had a much longer. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just the same. Oh my God, sorry. It's the same for both Kraken and TradingView. This is the exact same chart. Yeah, Monero looks good. Monero looks like it's on a really good charge. I believe this is like a bit of a generational like a generational top for Monero, where we're it's headed towards that. If Monero breaks that, who knows, right? You can even go ahead and say there's like an uptrend of some sort going on here. Look at this. So like see that. Know how that plays out. Something like that. I don't know. This is probably just absolute garbage pattern. But yeah, I mean, you can just aggregate, extend it to the back a little bit, and just like you know, you look at that. That looks good actually. Hmm. Monero looks very good. I think Zcash. What Zcash really needs, honestly, it needs to really just freaking tear. It just needs to keep going up and find this pocket. So this can sort of like be, I don't know, this is not a double bottom anymore. Or I don't know if we can like consider this one bottom and then this another giant bottom. That it might in that case be, double bottom probably. Yo, that puts Zcash at about 8,000. What Zcash's adoption, man? We need to go to the next segment of this stream. We need to look at what Zcash's adoption is. And where's that? And see, this stream has a format, of course, and yeah, this is the next segment of it, which is Zcash's adoption. We're gonna look at Zcash's adoption. So what's Zcash's adoption? Let's go. So I want to see Zcash's transactions per day. I want to see the I want to see the transactions per day, the median transactions. I don't know if those. I think those should be available. Yeah, be info chart. I don't know if maybe because of the look at that spike. Look at that spike. Thanks to this pump, a spike to about $9,000, 9,000 transactions per day on you know Zcash. That's incredible. That's beautiful. So yeah, it's been averaging around. It's been in a slow down trend when it comes to like transactions though. It's like about, you can see like the general decline in transaction all the way from about 5,000 average or something like that. In December, I guess I don't know if that's December or November. Oh yeah, that's 2022 October all the way to, just recently, right, to 2000 something transactions. So the transactions sort of like halved within that space, and then it's like coming back up. So it's not like it's fueled by adoption, right? It's probably just pure speculation that's fueling this pump. But yeah, that's the thing about all this proof of work coins, right? Is that at their core, they're just monies, they're commodities, and there's always going to be like manipulations going on them, yeah, as traders hoard them, it's just stock to flow, right? They hoard it. Their supply is very predictable. They hoard it, and they get to stack up a lot of it. And when it's time, they're going to send the price wherever they want to send the price to. So it's probably why Zk is going up. We can compare it to something like Litecoin, and you see that its adoption has not been going that great, like compared to Litecoin. You can just see that this is over the last 3 years, and you can see, you know, Zcash's transaction was about per day was about 4,600 as of 4th of October 2022, and Litecoin's was about 97,000 transactions per day. And you can see how that sort of like moved all the way here, where Litecoin sort of like doubled, over more than doubled its transactions per day, while Zcash, the transactions per day is just talking about 2,600, half actually, while that of Litecoin doubled. So Litecoin has actually grown as a monetary instrument two times from what we've seen, but Zcash is pumping. So it's probably just pure speculation driven by manipulation, is what I think it is. But I mean, if they can push the price into this channel, I believe the market, that the TA might support it. I saw a post from Master. I saw a post from Master that says, this might be an exit pump. I don't know, man. I mean, I like the concept of it, but I'm not seeing the adoption to like back this pump up, honestly. And you can see even Monero's fared better, right? Monero's about like 20 something transactions per day, and like recently it's still in 20 something transactions per day. So like the transactions swirl a bit and then came back a bit, but it's been rather consistent, while Zcash has been like trending down, and Litecoin has been trending up in terms of its transactions per day. You can see that, right? As of here, 8th of October 2022, Zcash about 4,000 transactions per day, or I'm just gonna, yeah, about 10 of 10, right? It's about almost 5,000 transactions, and Litecoin is 95,000. Monero is like 23,000. You can sort of see that to here, where Zcash is halved, and Monero is pretty much very similar, right? And then Litecoin is like doubled. And that's it. I mean, Litecoin is the one that's growing as a monetary instrument, right? And I don't think this adoption I'm seeing with Zcash is enough to get me to want to trust it as a store of value, honestly, because at the end of the day, we are um you know I'm gonna trust something that actually has done more over a long time. We can just sort of see that you know, when we expand it to their all-time transactions, and you can sort of see Litecoin just growing consistently, as a monetary instrument, while you see Monero also like growing as well. But Zcash has been rather flat, and I'm just gonna turn off Monero and Litecoin so you can see that. You can see how absolutely flat it's just been. It's pretty much being stuck in this sub 10,000 transaction range since like 2017 or something. Since 2017, you can imagine that, right? You can just compare these to each other, right? I mean, it's not even close. Look at just how much transactions like Litecoin is actually doing, just absolutely destroying, and not just transactions, like the growth. You can see Litecoins are like growing, and in 2017, when like Zcash was like, this network was being tracked. You can sort of see in that 2016, 2017 time how they were sort of like closely tied. But since then, Litecoins just continue to grow in terms of like general transaction activity continues to expand like consistently, while Zcash has been like the mirror opposite of that. So I'm not seeing any growth in its in its adoption to actually like justify any like fundamental bullishness. I mean, I get the concept of it being private money, and then people wanting to use private money. But the market is not just gonna send something up just because it's private money, right? I mean, that's just not gonna happen, right? There has to be some bullish drivers behind them. That I'm just not seeing those bullish drivers for Zcash. I'm just not seeing it. But yeah, you can see Litecoin. It's just you know soon it's inevitable at some point, right? This Litecoin definitely pumps like Zcash or even more. But yeah, that's interesting actually. I mean, you can see like Litecoin just absolutely destroying Zcash. And if we're gonna pull up Doge just for the fun of it, you can see Doge being the one in blue, rather inconsistent. Litecoin being the one in orange, and Zcash being the one in red. It's you could just check any proof of work coin, Litecoin can just dominate. So yeah, I mean, right now it's just pure speculation that's pushing up Zcash. Who knows how far the speculation pushes up Zcash to? Who knows, right? We're just gonna watch it and watch the fun. Yeah, let me look. Let me look at other metrics, right? Let me look at median transaction. I want to see. Um, so let me see how much coins in USD are sent per day. Okay, okay. Oh, at some point, Zcash stopped providing the data. So as of as it at its peak, right, it was doing about you know it was doing about twice that of Litecoin in terms of like cent coins per day, and all of a sudden the data stops tracking here, which is rather strange in my opinion. Let me see if they have median transactions per day. Where's the median transactions per day? No, not median transaction fees. Median transactions. Oh boy. Median transaction value. Median transaction value. So I'm going to look at median transaction value. Okay, we can see that this is more consistent. So the median transaction value, it's very similar to that of Litecoin. Very similar to that of Litecoin. It has this times where it just drops to absolute fucking zero. I don't know why it keeps having these spikes down where it just stays consistently low before spiking back up and then coming back up. I mean, this Zcash's activity looks very sketchy, right? you know so yeah, they are both doing about a few hundred to a few $1,000s in median transactions. And right now, yeah, they're pretty much following the same part, right? They're doing about 200 transactions in terms of median transaction value. And that's it, right? So they're doing it pretty much similar median transaction value, unlike coin has just been absolutely eating it up with regards to number of transactions. That's actually interesting. Actually, very interesting. I guess. Yeah, I guess that's all that matters. Anyways, we are now done with this segment of the altcoin season tour. We are done with this segment. We're done looking at Zcash's adoption, and my takeaway is that Zcash is not seeing a lot of adoption. Honestly, not enough to make me, think that there's any long-term continuation to this move. I don't know. I don't know if there's a long term continuation to this move. But yeah, I mean, let's see what we have. Oh, we have an open chat now. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna go on with this open chat. Honestly, I'm sorry. We've done all of the other order of events, but I feel a little too exhausted to have an open chat right now. You know, and so I guess I'm just gonna just gonna chill a little bit, and then we're gonna call it a day, honestly. So yeah, I want to say, hey, shout out to every single person that showed up to the stream, man. Appreciate all of you. Thank you all for joining this live stream. It's been an absolutely wonderful it's been an absolutely wonderful um you know, been an absolutely wonderful stream. I'm a little exhausted. Y'all can see it in my eyes. I've not had any good sleep in days. Probably just like 3 hours or 4 hours average of the past like 3 days. working on some things. But I'm really glad that this show, this particular episode, had a very strict format, and I followed that format. And yeah, that's good actually. So I'm very happy. I'm happy with that. And I just want to say, from my takeaway, I don't understand why Zcash is going up or should be going up beyond just I don't know, probably some sort of like manipulation, right? Which is pretty much the whole market. But yeah, if these can do's continue to pump and find this channel, it probably goes up much higher than that. Litecoin still looks incredibly bullish, honestly. Nothing ever changed, honestly. We can still test this, reject this, come back here, grind a little bit in the 80s, and be fine. We might even dip a low, and we're still gonna come back and catch it, and we're still fine. I mean, about 80 something percent of all the Litecoin, about almost 90% of all Litecoins, that can ever exist are in circulation. So I'm more confident in this. And the fact that Litecoin's metrics have been going up a lot, I'm very confident. So yeah, bullish. Zcash looking promising. We need to find this channel. Solana looks bullish as well. I think we went over that. Solana looks bullish as well. Um, yeah, looks bullish. Hopefully it breaks, and so it can sustain that. If not, if it's crashing into this area, then that's not gonna be very good for Solana, honestly, because like it's infinite, right? So I mean, what's the stock to flow going to be after that, right? That's just a whole lot of new Solana that they have to like, it's gonna be very, it's just so much inflation is gonna go on there. Let's look at XRP, I guess. XRP looks okay. Yeah, I guess XRP continues to move in its own lane, in its own way, and that's cool, right? And so we look at Ethereum, and then we'll call it a day. So ETH, bro. I'm not very bullish. I'm not very bullish on you, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I want to see if I can draw like a curve around here. Oh boy. Okay. Where's the arc? I need the arc. No. I need the arc in. Oh boy. I'm very jaded right now. I need to end the stream soon, boy. Like hours of not sleeping, bro. Just I don't even know where anything is anymore. But yeah, you could sort of like see some. Oh boy, undo that. We can you can kind of like see like a curve, right? Sort of like forming here on Ethereum. And you can probably like if we can pull up the regression bands for Ethereum, we probably see where it goes a bit. I don't know if it does this, honestly. I'm pretty skeptical it does that. Oh my god, uh probably just comes back, probably just oh my god, undo this. Yeah, so probably just does something like something like this, if we can have like regression bands or something. And I don't know, probably like this, I don't know. Maybe it gets to like 10,000, and sort of like gets to 10,000, and then it comes back down. I don't know, I'm just doing crap here, but I'm not very bullish on Ethereum. I feel like it does like a little fake out here, probably gets very euphoric, 6,000, 7,000 maybe, and then reclaims this channel to continue to build on like much long-term momentum. But yeah, anyways, that's it. That's the end of the stream, man. We've had a wonderful time. Appreciate every single one of y'all for coming. Once again, I'm your host, Rafael, the creator of Flipping Finance and core Litecoin believer. And we host the altcoin season tour live stream every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Sometimes 10 a.m. EST, sometimes 11 a.m. EST, whatever time it is always announced. If you like this cool Litecoin merch that I'm wearing, if you like this cool Litecoin merch that I'm wearing, you want to buy it, then you go to 84 million. I'm just going to show that in the screen a little bit. You go to 84million.com/shop to get it. They have really cool Litecoin merch that you are gonna love. And with that, this live stream has come to a close. Bye bye. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just gonna. Y'all gotta give me a second, okay? I have to pull this up.
Altcoin bag
Okay, bye bye.
holders. My name is Rafael Yeager. I am addressing my fellow altcoin bag holders directly using the powers of the founding altcoin, Litecoin itself. All the fraud imposed upon us by maxis are crumbling to the ground, and our legion of altcoins have begun their march. My only goal is to destroy the indoctrination of Bitcoin maximalism once and for all. Right now, dogmatic maximalists are united in their desire to annihilate all our alts, reduce our network to dust. They won't stop when we're broke. They won't be satisfied until every coin besides Bitcoin is seen as worthless forever. I reject that wish. Each one of you will become a titan in joining me as we make every single Bitcoin delusion they've imposed disappear without a trace, and the Bitcoin dominance reduced till it becomes single digits.